It's Laura here at Hyperstamper. Welcome back. This is a very special new journal that I'm about to put on Etsy. So this is a print that came from a book from the 1890s called Sunday Reading for the Young. And this was a plate from the book that I put on top of another antique book, because this antique book from 1927, not that interesting a cover. So I adhered this beautiful plate. There's some wonderful aging on it, but it's actually in beautiful condition. And look at this lovely young woman. It's titled Daydreams, or There is a Happy Land Far, Far Away. And then Daydreams down here in that wonderful 1800s font. So I added this lovely bangle here. It's removable, and I used all vintage jewelry there and some ribbons to match. And this is just a cotton tie here. So let's have a look inside. I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. This is the original inside cover of this book. It's inscribed here by Joyce in 1928, and it was called Revolt in the Desert. And the first pages here have a plate, and then the original first pages here, and the date 1927 here. So lots of great history there, and everything in here is authentic, antique, and vintage ephemera, of course, except the pages that I tea dyed for extra journaling space, and I hand stamped them as well to make them pretty. In this little pocket here, I added a full page, double-sided, from the 1938 Paris, France Almanac, and I put a little hidden journaling spot under this flap and this flap here. And this here is from Demarest Family Magazine, also from the 1890s. And this is a lovely print here and a lovely windmill print here. And on the other side, just more articles here from Dutch schools. There's a clipper here. I love that magazine so much. I've had so much fun with it. And that's all adhered to a page from Folklore, Fables, and Fairy Tales. This is another one of these fabulous homemade crochet bits. Now, I'm not doing anything with them yet. You can do whatever you like with them. You can glue them in or turn them into a pull or use it as a coaster at home. But it's made from the rubber seal from mason jars, and that was a craft they did back in the 40s and 50s. This is a book jacket from a Plays of Oscar Wilde book, and I just turned it into a little pocket here and added this from 1910. It was a book of hymns, and this page here is called Devotional Hymns, and I adhered it to another antique page because it was extremely brittle, but now you can use it to journal on. Got a wonderful page here that we'll see the other side of in a second, and this piece of antique paper there, a piece of vintage upholstery fabric, and I put some journaling antique paper there, and a page from a vintage botanical page, and How to Make a Flower Garden from 1905. And over here we have 1930s Monopoly money and one of these wonderful vintage playing cards that I just acquired, made in Austria. And here is a vintage, or a antique page tag that I turned into a journaling spot for you. And that's again all mounted on that wonderful book jacket. And this page here is made from a 1920s music sheet. And then we have this from 1953 from Burbeck's Dairy Products, from that bakery that kept all of their receipts, and now I have them all. They're just so much fun. And another little banknote here from 1922. So colorful, and just after all these years, still so wonderful and vibrant. So just put a little antique paper here on top of this book page to give you more journaling space. Fun little cluster here. I actually did that cluster on a video today, how to make 1-minute clusters. A vintage crochet bit here, and this wonderful, there's the other one I made today on the video. Look how pretty it is. This is an antique postcard from the early 1900s. And then that back there is a canasta score sheet, a blank one from the 50s that you can journal on. That's just tucked back in there. And then this is the 1928 Billboard magazine page, and this would have been good during the strike, the Actors Equity Association. Look at that. And the ads in here are fantastic. You'll really, really have fun reading all of these. They're really cool. Oh, look, an ad for Kleenex. That is old. It's almost 100 years old. Who knew? Okay, and then in this pocket, I have one of these fantastic photo album photographs. And this one, gosh, it looks like it's probably from the 30s. She's wearing a short dress here, so that's sort of a tell. A little family on the porch there. And Tony's scrapbook here is just full of inspirational poems, and you're going to really enjoy reading this if this becomes your journal. And this is a really cool page from a children's book, and it's all about pixies. And I can't tell if somebody came in and painted this after, or if that's what the publishers did, because every page had little, what looked like watercolor paint added to them. But some of it was actually printed. So I'm gonna go do some research on that because I'm very curious. More of those wonderful poems. Vintage antique-ish. It's on the border of the music sheet here, First Day of Spring. And then in this pocket that I made from the doily, it's just an antique paper. Actually very, very old. I didn't tea dye it. That's actually how it was. Just a little cluster there for journaling. And then this was a page, the first page of that World Stamp album that I use many pages of, like this one. That's a United States page. Every country is represented in that book. All right, more there. Another children's book page here. I left this on it. That was where it was fastened into the book. And I just thought it was kind of cool. So it wasn't an error. This is from a seed book, highly collectible. And look at this wonderful page from a I want to say 40s theater arts magazine. And then this whole chunk here, no, I'm sorry, that is the London Illustrated News. I'm a big fat liar. London Illustrated News, 1957. This here is from 1893, you can see up here. And it is a chunk of pages from the poetry of Sir Walter Scott. And you can see the gold edging on there. Don't know if the camera's picking that up. It's quite beautiful. And there is a plate in here of Walter Scott from 1857. So just a real special. I just didn't have the heart to tear it into little bits. So it's all staying together there. And that lives here now. And I just did a fancy fold there. And that's from the early 1900s book on different lands and their customs and costumes. This is a vintage recipe page from a recipe book. And there's the flip side of that advertisement. Look at the fashions on these people. Look at the Art Deco light. Looks like a cruise ship almost. There's another one of those page seats. It looks like some petunias almost there, primrose. And another wonderful children's illustration. Sorry, I'm gonna hurry it up now. I know, I get so excited. Sorry if I'm taking too long. There's a journaling page here and a lovely 1955 magazine page there. Another journaling page here, and that's all removable on that vintage earring paperclip. A wonderful plate from a early 1900s book. Look at the Joker jumping in the window. Too funny. Another beautiful children's storybook page. And look at the wonderful Art Deco type, which tells me it's from the 20s. And that is a typing lessons school book. And Virginia Avenue from the 1930s Monopoly game. And this is a book spine from Currier and Ives. And another antique page there for journaling on. Oh boy, this is a needle or cross stitch pattern from the vintage pattern book. And just more of this. This is the first page of a children's book, and that's for journaling on. And this is a plate from a book, very old, pre-automobile. How cool is that? And then this band here, the belly band, I took out of the Paris, France Almanac, and they had postcards attached to here inside the almanac. But I loved this, so kept that, and that's from 1934. And that brings us to the end. Oh wait, no, big liar. Look at what's at the end here. A bonus map. Look at this. That's from the original book, so I kept it in. I love it. That's really, so that's from 1927. I just think that's super duper fun, and I hope you love it. It's going up on Etsy now. And when you check out Etsy, you'll see that shipping is included, hyperstamper.etsy.com, and I hope you'll visit. Bye for now.